हेलो एवरीवन, वेरी वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आप सभी का ऑन आवर जुलाई 27 न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस। वेरी वेरी वार्म वेलकम एंड आई होप कि आप सब अपना बहुत बहुत ध्यान रख रहे हो ड्यूरिंग द वेदर चेंज, द मॉनसून सीजन, एंड आई रियली होप you are also using the time to do your revisions at appropriate moments because that is very very essential. बिना revision के examination में success is not possible, so make sure that you do your revisions on time. On that note शुरू करते हैं आज का newspaper analysis. So if you are someone who is watching me for the very first time, I'm Kushagra Goyal, a graduate from National Law University, a master's in economics. And if you want to be like these Unacademy toppers from CLAT 2022 examination, then this is your chance to grab the opportunity. That is, we are coming up with 2 new batches and 1 batch of my own, which is to help you cover your entire syllabus for the examination. The batch is Success Law, and the one that is beginning new is Mission Law, Mission NLU and Let's Crack CLAT. आप इन तीनों में से किसी भी एक बैच में एनरोल कर सकते हैं, पूरा सिलेबस कवर होगा एंड यू विल ऑल्सो बी गेटिंग एक्सेस टू मॉक टेस्ट प्लस लाइव वॉइस सॉल्यूशंस प्लस 450 प्लस सेक्शनल टेस्ट. सो इन सब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ का फ़ायदा उठाने के लिए द बेस्ट चांस इज राइट नाउ यू कैन अवेल a 20% discount on your overall subscription cost by using the code KUSHGK. इस कोड को यूज़ करके आप 20% डिस्काउंट अवेल कर सकते हैं. सो मेक यूज़ ऑफ दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी जल्दी से जल्दी. एंड this is available on both the categories of Unacademy subscription, where in Iconic you will get physical compendium notes and in Plus you will not. But depending on your methodology of preparation आप सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं 6 months या उससे ज़्यादा का, क्योंकि that is the time period for your examination. And make sure कि if you want to avail live mentorship plus doubt solving plus priority in class, you take up the Iconic subscription. So भूलिएगा मत. And if you have any other queries, you can call me at 8585858585 पर. Okay, so on that note, the place where you can get your notifications from us is Unacademy_CLAT, and for updates of my classes the telegram channel is Kushagra Goyal_Unacademy. यहाँ पे सारी updates रहेंगी. On that note शुरू करते हैं. So couple of big things to note down. All right, the Supreme Court is hearing a petition wherein political parties, आप सबको पता है कि प्रॉमिस करते हैं हम ये चीज़ फ्री कर देंगे, हम 6 महीने तक आपको राशन फ्री करेंगे, हम 6 महीने तक आपको साइकिल्स फ्री देंगे, हम 6 महीने 1000 यूनिट की बिजली फ्री देंगे, या हम आपको 6000 रुपये बैंक अकाउंट में देंगे, या 1000 रुपये का गैस का सिलेंडर फ्री देंगे. देर आर ऑलवेज अ कंपेटिटिव प्रोमिसेस दैट पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज कीप मेकिंग कि 5000 रुपये तक का अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट भत्ता दिया जाएगा हमारी तरफ से, 6000 रुपये का मेटर्निटी बेनिफिट दिया जाएगा. किसी ना किसी तरीके का कोई ना कोई प्रॉमिस पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज कीप मेकिंग. सो उससे रिलेटेड देर इज अ पिटिशन दैट वाज फाइल्ड इन द कोर्ट कि certain of these promises are irrational, and obviously sarkar, whichever political party makes these promises, they are not making it from their own pockets. They are making those promises based on the use of the taxpayers' money. So the Supreme Court is hearing a petition on can promises of irrational poll freebies be curbed. So इलेक्शन कमीशन का ये कहना है कि इस चीज़ को रेगुलेट नहीं किया जा सकता until and unless we have the laws for it. And then the central government has not given any position on it. They have stated that they will look into the matter, because if laws have to be amended, the election commission laws, it will have to be done by the government. So overall, this is what this entire thing is. This matter is sub judice. इसके अंदर कुछ confirm नहीं है. It is still ongoing. ठीक है. So there is nothing of note. It's just the concept that needs to be aware. आप सबको इसके बारे में awareness तो है कि it requires हमारे taxpayer के पैसों से you make these promises and then you get power and use it for your own benefit. On that note, a very, very good morning to everyone who have tuned in. Hi Abhineet, hello Asad, hi Rishi, hello Chanda, hello Khushi, hi Kanish, hello Shivani, hello Damanjeet, Khushi, Tina. Very, very good morning to all of you. Then on the right hand side, spurious liquor claims. This is national, nothing of note here. This is again liquor bottles being seized and destroyed in over 800 excise duty cases. This is all part of. But then we come to here, this small tiny news in this corner on the top. Russia to leave the ISS, build its own space station. Russia will pull out of the International Space Station after 2024. Okay. The ISS is a collaborative effort of approximately 55 countries, okay, who are working towards keeping a permanent base in low Earth orbit. Usme se Russia, which has been the primary one apart from NASA, is now decided that it will not continue post 2024, that it will not support it, it will not provide logistical support to those living at ISS, and it will focus on building its own international space station. China has already done that. China was not allowed to be part of the ISS, so they built their own. Now Russians are also doing it. India plans to establish its own space station. So this is, space was seen as one area where countries were collaborating, but that sense of collaboration is now getting over. This is what we can understand. Okay, so the ISS, what is it? It is a permanent base of humans in low Earth orbit. Okay. Then we move on, spectrum auction bids worth. This is about different spectrums for your mobile phones and different things that we use. Okay. And this is also for the 5G spectrum waves that 5G technology, unko use karne ke liye spectrum waves. So this is what will happen. Now, one thing to note down. What is a spectrum? So spectrum definitively are airwaves. Mobile phone, internet, wireless internet, airwaves for wireless connectivity. But what they are also is the nature of capital assets. What are they? The capital assets. Okay, the spectrums are capital assets. This in nature is a way for government to earn any revenue. Their purpose is for government to earn revenue. Okay, so for example, I have rented out my mobile phone, for example, for a particular kind of use. So that way I am earning revenue. Similarly, this is the case with spectrums. This allows the government to earn revenue, and that is why the government is very enthusiastic whenever more and more people are participating in spectrum allocations. Now there are only 4 companies left in the market, that is Reliance, Bharti Airtel, Vodafone and Adani. So this is about it. Then your question, sir, what is an MOU? MOU is a Memorandum of Understanding. It is like an informal agreement. Let's say both of us sign, you all sign a Memorandum of Understanding that we will attend sir's classes every day at 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. and for this sir will be located at this location and he'll be accessible. So that would be an informal agreement. Now MOUs are not enforceable in the sense that they are not binding contracts. That's the only difference between a contract and an MOU. Now only China has its own space station. Yes, as things stand, only China has its own space station. And why was China not allowed to join the ISS? Because of political tensions between the countries then. Then we move on. None of this is important. All of this. We come to the main editorial. Okay, so the main editorial is on the left hand side. Square off, the first one. What is this about? India will be hosting the 44th Chess Olympiad. This is happening in the country for the very first time. 4 months prior only we were given the hosting rights of this event because Russia backed out. Russian Chess Federation was not allowed to participate. So this was the first time that we are hosting it. Where is it happening? It will happen in Chennai. Chennai's Nehru Stadium, and that is where, so let's write it down, 44th. Okay, these are the things related to the Olympiad. Now, who will win, whether Indians will win at the Olympiad, those are the things that are being discussed in the editorial. Will it allow us to have, how many medals will be able to get? All of those are things once the event is over, we will talk about them. Okay. Then we come to the second one, desperate measures. Myanmar's junta is only creating martyrs for resistance through its repression. So we had talked about this yesterday also, that on February 1, 2021, we had a military coup in Myanmar. The Tatmadaw or the military seized power in Myanmar, and since then they unsettled the government of Aung San Suu Kyi, NLD की पार्टी की सरकार को उन्होंने हटा दिया. And since then almost 2,000 people have been killed, 15,000 people jailed to repress the pro-democracy movement. But none of that is leading to any sort of control. जितना ज़्यादा military repress करने की कोशिश कर रही है, things are only spiraling out of their control more and more. So that is the risk that is being discussed here, and that international isolation के बावजूद the military is not in any mood to give up any sort of control. That's what is being discussed here. Okay. Then we move on to the main editorial. Whose GDP is it anyway? So this is an analytical article on what a GDP is all about. So by definition, GDP is the total goods and services okay, simple goods and services. Now let's say in last year I produced 100, this year I am producing 110, and then I am producing 115. So I can say that there has been growth in my economy. But the editorial is discussing ki, does it actually work that way anymore? GDP growth rate, is that something that we really care about anymore? Because then he draws the parallel ki sabse pehle GDP growth rate and jobs. So when in 1980s we grew by 1% of GDP, it led to almost 2 lakh jobs being created. 1980s में हर 1% of GDP growth rate से 2 लाख formal नौकरियां create हो रही थी. Cut to 2010, 1% of GDP growth was leading to only 1% of GDP growth was leading to how many new job creations? 20,000. So what is it showing? That GDP is no more a way for people to secure jobs. Growth in GDP is not going to improve job creation anymore. Similarly, another thing that it talks about is income. So for example, GDP grew by, in the last year, our Indian GDP grew by 7%. Does that mean that everybody's job or income grew by 7%? So if someone was earning 1 lakh rupees a month, did their salary now become 1,07,000? Did everybody record this growth? Probably not. And this is what is leading for people to not be bothered too much with GDP growth rate anymore. This is only what affects a very minuscule level of people. GDP growth rate is already criticized for not taking into consideration human level of security, human level of humanitarian intervention. For example, my income may grow but my health may be declining. My income may grow but my overall societal situation may be declining. So those aspects are being discussed here, and then eventually talked about that in 2008, French president commissioned a commission on the measurement of economic performance and social progress. He got 2 Nobel laureates, Joseph Stiglitz and Amartya Sen, to work on this. All right, GDP is not a good parameter, so tell us what can be the alternative. How else can I measure whether my economic performance is actually happening, whether the policies I am making is really working for the betterment of people or not? How will I come to know? So they got down to create that, but that also did not lead to any effective solution or answers, that we were not able to do this. Now there should be, the suggestion was that there should be an expanded dashboard of multiple indicators unique to each country. सब countries का अलग parameter होना चाहिए. अभी क्या होता है, every country is measured on GDP. Exports this much export, import this much export, very good. China has the highest exports, China is the best economy that way. India has high export of jute, very good India, jute industry. India has high level of software export, very good India on software. So what we have is, we are measuring countries on a universal ground, but every country is unique to its own capacity and capability, is what the editorial is discussing. And that eventually this obsession with GDP, कि GDP growth rate इतना हो गया, इतना fell हो गया, ये हो गया, will eventually die off. Okay, so this is a good understanding for GDP question if you have. अगर आपको ज़्यादा idea नहीं है तो this is also a good way to understand it. Okay, then we come to US search for a new role in West Asia. The realpolitik may have trumped the Biden administration's local position on principles in the region. Now, Joe Biden has convened a democracy summit. Okay, when he assumed office as US president, he stated, I'll conduct a democracy summit, I'll get democracies, I will talk about minority rights, I will not let people or leaders. He has taken a strong position on Vladimir Putin, who has controlled power in his country. But what has he really done with his West Asia policy is what is being discussed here. कि West Asia में US is friends with Saudi Arabia, US is friends with Israel. Both these countries are primarily opposed to the concept of democracy, concept of minority protection, concept of delegation of power. All the power is concentrated in some way or the other. So therefore, it is talking about that here US has not followed any principles but realpolitik, मतलब पॉलिटिक्स फॉलो होती है दुनिया में और उसी के हिसाब से, अपनी ज़रूरत के हिसाब से उन्होंने यहाँ पे काम किया है. Now, why is this being called? Because when he was running for the position of president, he was like, yes, I will take very strong action against the Saudis. How could they kill a journalist? So, Saudi Arabian president Mohammed bin Salman is accused to have killed Jamal Khashoggi, a journalist from Saudi Arabia who was critical of his government, in his own embassy. So the US has stated that no, we will take strict action against him. How can he kill? We cannot have relationship with a murderer. But now they have gone to the Saudis because they want more oil production from the Saudis to reduce the oil prices in the world, to reduce inflation in their own country, because his own position as president is in question. His political party's position is in question. So this is what is being discussed here. Now, हमारे काम की इसमें एक ही चीज़ है. From our point of view, it is first is the Negev Forum. What is the Negev Forum? The Negev Forum is a place for countries to discuss. Okay. The Negev Summit. What is the Negev Summit? It is a summit for Abrahamic Accord signatory countries. Abraham Accords, जिसके ऊपर आपको CLAT 2020 में question आया था, it was about a friendship deal between Israel and UAE along with some other Middle Eastern countries, Bahrain, Morocco, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, South Sudan. Okay, so these countries. Now for India, the most important thing is I2U2, which is India, Israel, UAE, USA. That this is the grouping that US has created to have influence in West Asia. Okay, so I am removing this, not important for us. I2U2. Alright, that's all that we have to note down. Then we move on to the next one. Seeking to destroy India's civil society. This is about misuse of laws, ki how FCRA and PMLA has been destroyed. This is on criticism of the government. आप अपने interest के हिसाब से पढ़ सकते हो. Nothing for us. Then we come to here. A part to global connectivity. What we can do for global connectivity. Ki now that we have 5G technology, how can we use 5G for better connectivity across the world? So this is a suggestion for that, ki we should have a non-terrestrial network system similar to Starlink that the SpaceX companies, or OneWeb which is being promoted by Bharti Global, Bharti Airtel ka concept hai wo, ki there should be physical towers on Earth and there should be low Earth orbit satellites, that there should be a direct connection between them. It will all help us get better connectivity across the world. Okay, so it's talking about how this will reduce cost, what can be done. इसमें focus हमें ये करना है, couple of things to note down in this. Okay, so let's say India wants to implement this, तो उसके लिए सरकार ने दो चीज़ें करी है. First, New Space India Limited, a public sector enterprise where private companies can go. For example, I want a satellite to be launched for me. अब I know what I want the satellite to do, but मुझे ना satellite बनाना आता है, ना मुझे, neither do I have a rocket to send the satellite into space. So what will I do? I will go and hire New Space India Limited. I'll tell them, sir, make this satellite for me. It should do this for my business. I will pay you this much amount of money. New Space India will be like, yes, we will do this. हम ऐसा काम करेंगे. Alright, so ये कब establish किया सरकार ने? 2019 में. To regulate this structure, they also created a center which is Indian Space Promotion and Authorizations Center, which is INSPACE, INSPACE. Okay. Then we come, InSpace is intended to provide level playing field. It will overall make it easier for everybody to have better access to space facilities. That's the idea behind it. So हमें दो बातें note करनी है इसमें से. Okay. Then we come, overall LPG prices have increased. You must have noted this. Then power tariff revisions and the state of discoms. Distribution mechanisms of state governments. उनकी health, उनकी financial health काफ़ी खराब है. State governments या state discoms do not want to raise the prices, but overall उससे क्या हो रहा है? Discoms are becoming poorer. They do not have the money to sustain themselves. They are running in high debt, which is what is being risked here. Okay, that's all that is being discussed. Then we have the killing of activists in Myanmar and aftermath. What could happen now that activists are being killed? What will happen to them? Will it actually lead to any resolution? It seems to be unlikely. Overall, we have already discussed it. ASEAN has called for peace. None of this has actually led to any change overall. Okay, none of this is changing the situation in the country. Okay, then we move on, use of technology. So these are dashboards that you can use for your own, if you want to make up better cases. Take a setting up how to improve your technological mechanisms, use AI for your own use. So this is a data on that. Okay, so Hindu publishes this nowadays every once in a week for us to learn new kind of technological mechanisms. So this is something you can also learn if you are interested in that. This is like a code that is also given. You can get this code to work for you. Then we come, "19 Rajya Sabha members suspended in one go." Now this is basically going to reduce the overall strength of opposition in the House, and the rule that has been invoked for suspension becomes important. So you are protesting, the government is not hearing, on what grounds you want protests for, you want discussion on for, so you have suspended the MPs. Now this has happened, this suspension will happen for an entire week. For an entire week, these people will not be able to be part of the proceedings. What is the rule? Rule number 256. Okay, that on the grounds that you were creating ruckus in the house. Okay, so this is what this is about. They are protesting because the government is not allowing them to discuss what they want to discuss, and so it's a political tussle basically. That's all what is happening. Okay, rule number 256 is what you have to note down. ठीक है. Then Prime Minister congratulates Sri Lanka's President. Ranil Wickremesinghe has become the new President of Sri Lanka. So the Prime Minister sent a letter to him stating that, see, we will try to help you as much as we can. Why this is important? Because India is the country that has assisted Sri Lanka the most since the crisis broke out. How much assistance have we given? $3.8 billion ka assistance we have given to them. Tamil Nadu has also given them 40,000 megatons of rice, 500 megatons of milk powder, 100 megatons of medicines. Overall 22 million की donation तमिलनाडु के state ने ही कर दी है उनको. All right. Then we move on. India adds 5 more Ramsar sites. Ramsar sites are wetland conventions. So wetlands जहाँ पे migratory birds can come and visit, they stay there. So India is part of the Ramsar Convention, which was signed in 1961. Ramsar is a place in Iran. Now this takes total sites in India to 54. कितनी sites हो गई है इंडिया में अब रामसार कन्वेंशन की? 54. Government is trying कि 15th August से पहले we should get 75 total Ramsar Convention sites. Okay. So what are these? The ones that have been included: Karikali Bird Sanctuary, Pilikaranai Marsh Reserve Forest, Pincham Mangrove and Sakhya Sagar in Madhya Pradesh, along with Pala Wetlands in Mizoram. You can take your time to note down. Is it normal to feel demotivated? Definitely. Not every day you will be as excited for your preparation as on a daily basis. So it is very, very natural. There is nothing to worry in that. Okay. The total spread of wetlands now in India is 11,000 square kilometers. Okay. But this is way less. It is the highest in South Asian countries, but it is still very less in comparison to, let's say, United Kingdom or Bolivia, which are much smaller countries in comparison to India, but have much larger land under their control. Okay, so Bolivia is the country with the highest span of water wetlands, 1,48,000, which is India's is only 11,000. Okay. UK and Mexico themselves, they have United Kingdom, which is the size of Punjab, has 175, and Mexico, which is equivalent to the size of Bihar and Jharkhand combined, has 142. Okay. And the total size of wetlands in India, who creates this? It is compiled by ISRO, that is National Wetland Inventory and Assessment. उनके हिसाब से इंडिया का total size of wetlands is 1,52,600 square kilometers. Then we come to third parties joining CPEC is inherently illegal. The China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which passes through Pakistan occupied Kashmir. India has never supported it. It believes that this is India's territory, so how can you make a project there? Or now inviting third countries to work in it is also illegal. So India has given out its formal protest against this. Okay, then we move on. to international use. EU to reduce gas use by 15% over threats of supply cuts by Russia. Russia believes that it is using its gas exports to them overall, and as a point of leverage the crisis in Ukraine, Russia. इस तरीके की चीज़ें अब I don't think you have to note them down or give them that much leverage on a daily basis. ठीक है? Then we come to this news we have already discussed. Excuse me. Russia to leave International Space Station after 2024, focus on building its own outpost. Something they want to do, so good for them. Nothing of note apart from it. Then LIC stock performance must be gauged over medium term. Several factors affecting this is that LIC had started its trade at 949 but is now trading somewhere around 675 as a trade value. So stock ki value has depreciated 1/3. Okay. Then we come overall, moving on. Sports side, nothing. India to host the 2025 Women ODI World Cup. Okay. And the World Test Championship finals for 2023 and 2025 will be played at Lord's. Things to be noted down. Okay. So on that note, we will conclude the analysis for the day. Not a lot of things to note down. So first is I2U2 forum. Then क्या what notes सर पूरे वर्ल्ड में कितने कंट्रीज हैं 192 to 202 depending on different areas. Please make video on how to take effective notes from newspaper. I will make another one. Okay. Obviously you have to note down about this. What do I mean by the Negev Forum? Negev Forum is of the Abrahamic Accord countries. Okay. The Negev Forum आज भी क्विज होगा ऑब्वियसली. व्हाई इज दैट इवन अ क्वेश्चन? वी विल हैव द क्विज एवरी डे. आपको ये बार बार पूछने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि क्विज होगा कि नहीं होगा. ऑल राइट. So these are the things that you have to note down in today's newspaper. All right, and from on this note, we will be concluding the analysis. Now, once again, a reminder for all of you that if you have to enroll and study your GK from me, then enroll in this batch, Success Law. The classes I have taken 3 classes in this batch abhi tak. Next class August Monday को होगी. So if you want to avail the chance of participating in this batch, जल्दी से जल्दी enroll करो, and you will also be able to access this at a 20% discount using the code KUSHGK. So use the code to enroll. The link is in the description. जल्दी से जल्दी enroll करो. And if you want iconic notes, that is physical compendium from Unacademy, take the iconic category subscription and not the plus one. Okay, this will get you physical notes compendium. This will not get you that. So make sure that you take 6 months at least, क्योंकि आपका एग्जाम 6 महीने में है. तो use this opportunity to get a 20% discount. Okay. On that note, बाकी अपडेट्स के लिए मेरा टेलीग्राम चैनल है कुशाग्र गोयल _Unacademy. वहाँ पे आप मुझे रीच आउट कर सकते हैं. And there will be a Ask Me Anything session by our other educators which you can attend, and the doubt solving calendar. So if you have specific doubts on specific subjects, there is a special series of doubts that will be taking place for all of you. So check upon how this is. On that note, the quiz is at 11:10 a.m. हर रोज, every day, Monday to Friday, Saturday, we do it every day. So आपको इसके बारे में टाइमिंग की क्वेश्चन नहीं रहना चाहिए. इट इज़ समथिंग दैट विल हैपन ऑल द टाइम. सो 11:10 पे ये होगा. ओके, सो सी यू एज पार्ट ऑफ अ स्पेशल क्लास. द लिंक इज इन द टेलीग्राम ग्रुप. ऑन दैट नोट, टेक केयर, बाय बाय. अगर आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा है तो डू गिव इट अ थम्स अप, एंड इफ यू आर न्यू टू द चैनल, सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना. ऑन दैट नोट, बाय बाय.